away with this in their marriage. And by the way, they didn't because they're no longer married. But now you're back in the streets and you're going up against competition.
What's up, guys? It's JQ, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the controversial topic of coffee dates. So I've seen it popping up more on my feed lately. There are women who are saying that they will absolutely not go on a coffee date and that it's wrong to go on a coffee date and women should never accept one because it's too low effort. Well, we're going to investigate that claim in a little bit more detail by looking at a video by a popular female dating coach. You want to take a guess as to whether she is single or married herself?
So this guy in his 50s asked me out on a date for coffee. I'm not going on a coffee date, so this is how I responded.
She says that as if it's kind of a pejorative, like the guy being in his 50s is a negative thing. I mean, she appears to be in her 50s as well. If not, she's at least in her 40s, mid to late 40s. Let's take a look at this message. Jude, you're meeting women who have a lot of options. We meet colleagues for coffee. Dates, be a little bit more intentional. Well, okay, look. I am not here to slam her or anything like that. But as a woman in her 50s, okay, she does not have a lot of options, not compared to a woman who's in her 20s that doesn't have kids. And so it's kind of presumptuous for her to act like she has so much leverage. She could be a little bit more. I'm not saying that she should accept a crappy guy to go out with. What I'm saying is that she should have a little bit of a better attitude when she's interacting with men and not be so damn difficult, because where's that going to get her?
Now, here's the thing. He could have gotten defensive, gotten mad, called me a bitch, deleted the match, and he didn't. He stuck with it, and I admire that. But even sticking with it, he left me with all the choices. Do you want to do brunch? Do you want to do dinner? Make a fucking decision.
Ma'am, he already made a decision, okay? He asked you out for coffee. Well, you didn't like that idea, so he decided to come back and say, well, if you don't like that idea, what exactly would you like to do instead? Okay, which is a reasonable way of responding to the equation. Now, he should not have accepted her counter proposal, and if you propose, whether you proposed coffee or any other type of date, and the girl comes back to you and she's saying, no, I don't want to do that, I think we should do something else, especially if she's suggesting doing something that would be more expensive, like going somewhere fancy, do not accept that date. That is just a red flag right off the bat, and it means that she's more interested in having you prove yourself to her by taking her somewhere fancy and spending money on her than she is in getting to know you. Trust me, speaking from experience, when a girl really, really likes you, she does not care what you're doing. In fact, if she likes you enough, she would just come right over to your house or do something like take a walk or go and get coffee. If a girl is saying, no, I don't want to do something, or I don't like that idea, it just means she doesn't like you all that much. So this woman was clearly not that interested in this guy, and that's why she didn't want to go on this coffee date with him. Now, I don't actually think coffee dates are that horrible of an idea, especially if you haven't met somebody yet. So we don't know the context of this meeting, but let's just say they met on a dating app or something they've never even met before. Coffee date is low pressure, it's easy, and it's quick, and neither party is trapped there for an extended length of time if they don't want to be. Let's say they don't feel the connection, they don't feel the vibe, they can get up, they can leave, they don't have to waste a lot of time, they don't have to spend an entire evening together if there's no chemistry, if there's no connection. But I do want to talk about what I think is a better idea, and I'll come back to that in just a second.
Be a man and lead this situation. A coffee date says, I don't really know if I'm going to like you enough to spend a lot of time with you or spend a lot of money on you.
That's the whole point. When you're just meeting somebody for the first time, you don't know that if you've never met them before. And so that is why you would do something potentially a little quicker and easier, just to check if there's chemistry before you do something that would require a bigger level of commitment.
I still want you to show up looking real cute. Do your makeup, do your hair, wear a cute, sexy outfit. But I'm going to contribute 20 minutes and $10. It's so bare minimum. It's so non-committal. If you're unsure about me, no problem. Do a FaceTime. But don't ask me to waste my time and energy on a fucking cup of coffee. They might have gotten away with this in their marriage. And by the way, they didn't because they're no longer married. But now you're back in the streets and you're going up against competition, and you need...
You're going up against competition. What competition? When in your 50s, I'm sorry to say, but the odds are stacked way in favor of men. There's going to be not that many, successful quality men around, and those that are have lots of options. They can date younger women that do not have kids. This woman is not only in her 50s, but she says in another video that she has 3 kids. So men in her age range are going to have a lot of options. And so that's not to say that she couldn't get with one of those, but with a guy like that, but she at least needs to have a good attitude in order to, and show up feminine in order for a guy in her attractiveness range, or a guy that she might find attractive, to be interested in her. So I was kind of curious, and I checked on this woman's page, and she is quite popular, actually. She has 123,000 followers on Instagram. A lot of these girls are on TikTok as well, where they usually have even bigger following. So if we scroll down here, and right, she's the single mom dating academy. So I'm going to guess she gives advice to women about dating, right? Maybe she even is a coach. Well, let's check it and see what is her actual status. Well, unsurprisingly, just like all the other female dating and relationship coaches, she is single. So yeah, I guess take her advice if you want to stay single, because it seems like all of these female dating coaches are single, okay? And they just have impossible high standards, and they are difficult. And you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that what the outcomes of that kind of behavior and attitude are going to be.
To impress. And that doesn't mean spending a lot of money. Take me to feed the fucking ducks. Just stand out and show me that you realize my time is worth something.
And I will give her some credit on that last statement. I do think that creating a date that is interesting is important. So, you know, while I believe the first date can be like lower effort, I don't think just meeting a chick at a Starbucks is a great idea, because it just lacks originality. And like she said, it lacks effort. Whereas taking her on like a short, you know, walk through a park, or on an interesting hike, or on a little picnic would be a lot more interesting and wouldn't take a ton of effort or require a lot of money. On that note, you know, when you are planning a date with a new girl, it is important that you do lead the interaction, and you need to be the one who specifies what's going to happen on the date. And you are going to just basically you don't need to even tell her what's going on. You're just going to say, hey, be ready at this time and I'll pick you up. Now, if she needs any special preparation, like a jacket or some kind of special clothing or something like that, you do want to inform her. And if there's going to be food involved, you'd want to check if she has any allergies or anything like that. The second thing that you want to do when you're taking a girl on a date is that you need to plan the logistics in such a way in which intimacy would be possible, because you do want to be escalating things with a girl that you're interested in if you're feeling a connection with her. That means that you're going to meet her at a place that is close to where you live, so that afterwards there's an opportunity to invite her back to your house if the date is going well. That's also why it's not a good idea to meet women during the daytime on a first date, because daytime doesn't really have the same sexy vibes, and women and all people generally would have plans in the afternoon or potentially later in the evening. It's unlikely that she would have something planned after that. In fact, she shouldn't have anything planned after that, because that would be rude, right? But you couldn't really say the same thing if you were meeting her at noon or 1 o'clock. She might have something else going on after that. So what is a good date? A good date might be taking a girl out somewhere interesting in nature and planning a picnic. That way you have a chance to have something to observe, something to kind of beautiful to look at, and there's a chance for just the two of you to connect. This doesn't cost a lot of money. It's very original. Pack a bottle of wine, pack an interesting snack, something that you think that she'll enjoy, and make sure you do this in a location that's going to be close to where you live, so that if the date is going well, afterwards you can invite her, hey, would you like to come over and have a glass of wine? Or potentially invite her over to cook dinner with you. Now, you want to have prepared for this in advance. You want to have your house perfectly set up ahead of time, so that if the date is going well, if you invite her, if she accepts, this doesn't mean that you are definitely going to sleep with her or that you have to or anything like that. So don't get your panties in a bunch. What I'm saying is that you want to be prepared in case things are going well, that you can escalate the situation. That means that your house has been cleaned. You have wine and other types of alcohols that a woman might enjoy, different types, vodka, wine, white, bubbly, red, etc. And that you are prepared so that you can invite her over. All right, guys, I hope that helps give you some ideas for dates, as well as help you avoid the type of women that you don't want to spend time with. If you found this helpful and you'd like to learn more, number one, you can join my free email newsletter. There's a link to join that. It's in the description below. I send it out about once a week or so, chock full of valuable information. And if you would like to learn how to become the kind of man who just naturally attracts beautiful women and keeps them in your life without having to do pickup, without having to do weird tricks or anything like that, just naturally, then go ahead and book a one-on-one strategy call with me. Let's see if coaching is right for you. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.